The most common question I get is, Rory, how did you learn French? Answer's very simple. One textbook for my first 3, 6, 9 months mainly. I used it every day and I progressed from beginner to intermediate to advanced at the end of that 12 months using this book and a few other things. I want to focus on this because if you're looking to learn French, this might be the resource for you, but it might not. Now, if you're looking to get good at conversations, learn how to speak French, understand French, get really involved, not learn grammar, but simply focus on learning conversations, this could be the resource for you. If you're more focused on grammar, it's probably not. Here's a clip of me and Jack when you were a student showing him how to use the book. And if you're interested and you think it might be helpful in your French learning, you can always book a call down below to apply to be one of my students. And otherwise, check out my other videos on my channel. I've been here for a little bit now. And so I hope you find them useful with your French. Any questions you got, always post them down below. And yeah, hope you find it helpful. So every single lesson is the exact same layer. I'll get into the details in a bit. But to give you a quick idea, it's basically on the left-hand side, you've always got the French. On the right-hand side, you've got the direct English translations. Every single sentence, you're getting that English support. And that's what I liked about this book. I haven't found any other similar ones which are like this. And so that saves you time having to go and look. And it also gives you the ability to read the English, think about what the French could be, and then bounce across. So you can play around with it in lots of different ways. Now, you're going to have, for each lesson, it's a conversation. There's sort of different things going on. Sometimes it's even a radio broadcast or a TV show. But for the most part, it's just a general French conversation that you would hear in the street or that you'd hear between mum and dad or mum and son and things like that. So you're at the cafe, talking with friends, doing a bit of, what are we doing here? Yeah, talking about a film. So there's lots of different things, and basically they're going to be anywhere from 10 lines per lesson. You can see it continues down to 6 to 11, from 10 lines up to even 18, 20 as you get towards the end of the book. And the start of the book, if I show you the level of the French, so you got an idea of this, basically it is as simple as you could start, because this was the first resource I used with French and I found it to be a really good transition. Now I'm going to see where your level's currently at. I'll show you a couple of lessons to make sure we get you off on the right foot, because there's no point starting off in a lesson we understand 98%. So this is the first lesson. So I'll give you a moment if you just want to scan through there, have a read the English as well, and see how much you can understand, if it sort of makes sense.
Yeah, I can read all that.
Cool. Easier.
Yeah.
Cool. And so you're also going to have, after that main lesson section, you've also got exercises. So there's the first exercise. And so this is literally the exact same as from here, except it's shorter sentences which don't have much to do with each other, as in they don't follow on. So in the full lesson, lines 1 to 5 all the way through to 10, it's continual most of the time. For exercises, it's just short snippets. So you're just getting phrases. They're using the vocabulary for the most part that was found in the main lesson. So it's sort of giving you a bit of a link through, sort of doubling up a vocab so you can get a bit more practice in and see it again in a sort of different spot. So you've also got the English translation there for this one. And keeping in mind up until now, so we've got 15 lines, so 10 for the main and 5 here for the exercises. They've all got French audio. So every time when I use the book for my students as well, you're reading through these lines. Obviously not this one, because it's too easy for you. I'm going to show you, say, lesson 20. I want to see what you say to that. You'd basically be listening to the French and reading the French. So,
Like an audio book as well.
pardon me?
There's like an audio book as well, or
It's a audio file. So in the folder that I sent you, so you see it.
I'm not like,
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. So
yeah.
each of the lessons, yeah, got that. So I don't know, in terms of an audio player you can use, you sort of want it, because you see here, they're all broken up. So there's one per line. Now, why that's useful is because I'll bring back here. Let's say Okay, so this plays through. So if I press the audio, basically, let's say I'm doing the full lesson. I'll show you how I go in order, right? So I pull up the lesson. Okay, I got my audio ready. I press play. Then we go, pardon, madame. So as I'm hearing it, I'm reading it. I'm following with my eyes. So my ears are basically making a connection with my eyes. So reading and listening are teaming up essentially. Pardon, madame. Où est le métro Saint-Michel? Okay, cool. Now, after that's complete, I'll do another quick scan over and sort of say it in my head without saying it out loud. Then I'll go over to English and I'll just do a sentence by sentence comparison. And then if I need to, word by word. So here, pardon, madame, you know that, bang, done. Yeah, finish. Scan back, oh yeah, good. Où est le métro Saint-Michel? For example, you might have forgot what that means. Où est? You know, it happens. People forget things, right? That's nothing unusual. Where is? Yeah, okay, perfect. Now, sometimes it doesn't line up. Sometimes it's a bit back to front because French and English are the same. If they were the same, you would already be fluent, and that would be amazing because you wouldn't be on the call with me. But it's good to talk with you because of this, right? Now, that's where that's where you're doing that comparison there because there will be vocabulary you don't know. The target rate in terms of each lesson, you want to know about 60, 70% once you've compared with it, right? If it's above 70, let's say it's 80, 80 could be okay. But if it's above 80, it's sort of like, geez, this is too easy. Like this is just, way too, it's like playing guys in sport that are like 5 years older than you. It's like, even if you're bad at the sport, it's just too easy. So on the other hand, if it's below 50, and for example, every second sentence, as you compare with English, there's just things that aren't clicking and you can't even follow the conversation. That's where it's a problem because 60, 70, I think 60 to 75 even, sweet spot because you can still follow the conversation even if you don't know vocab. And the good thing is with Asimil, they repeat vocab on purpose in future lessons. So, for example, in lesson one, there might be a word or two that you don't know. Well, they're going, for example, joli, right? That means pretty, but maybe you forgot that. They will reuse that word in the book again. Now, the way you can check that is if I go here, you can literally do a search in your PDF editor. There's probably a way you can do a search as well, I imagine. You're going to see it, right? So you could literally, if you found a word that you found interesting or, oh, I heard that before, but how could I use that? Just literally search it and bounce and then see where you come up with. Because the other thing is, if you see a word, you don't get it and you search it and there's like one or two results or three results, it's not that important of a word because they would, yeah. So that's a good thing for confidence as well. And if it's something where, geez, this word's everywhere, I didn't even know, that this word existed. Well, that's a perfect one to load it. That's it. Yeah. So yeah, does that make sense so far? Just from how to, yeah, cool. Easy. Again, stop me at any time if you have any questions. The other
That seems good. Straightforward so far.
Perfect. Yeah, it is pretty straightforward because I I got into this resource. I found out about it because there was a guy online I was watching. He speaks heaps and heaps of languages. He recommended the book and he said, oh, you can learn via conversations, no grammar. And instantly I'm like, okay, this could actually work. And then he showed a book just like this. And I'm like, yeah, that's excellent. Like, why doesn't, imagine if they taught this in school? Like, kids would be chilling. Like, everyone had 2 or 3 languages because all you have to do is just simply basically overall in terms of why it works, Jack, is because you've got your reading and listening together with the French, right? Which means your listening's getting help from the reading and your reading's getting help from the listening. And then at any time, you just pause and check the English and flick back. So you're not having to force yourself to really, you don't want to isolate your reading from listening. You don't want to isolate your English from French because you've got fluent English. Why not use it?